So I've got a BMW 2007 E61 wagon, and I've got a fault coming up through the iDrive system, which is saying that the rear reversing light, there isn't one on the front, that the reversing light globe is blown, coming up on the CAN bus system, and it's not blown. That little slot down there on both sides is the reversing light, and the globes are not blown. No, what we've got, and it's an intermittent, it's there and then it's not. So what we've got is a system where it's possibly a broken wire, and because this is actually the tailgate split here, so this is the car, this is the tailgate, this lifts up, so the reversing light wires are actually up here in the hinge setup. If you have a look, I've got the glass up at the moment, so there's one set of wires running to this catch and to the wiper and the sprayer. You've got wires, the thicker part here is actually the metal hinge, and then there's a little covered section here with the wires in it. There's two of those, hinge, covered section with wires, and if you look here, there's another hinge, covered section with wires for the tailgate. So the tailgate is the outside on this side, and it's also the outside right there. So we're going to open up the tailgate. Now we've got all the hinges up, so it's the outside ones that we need. We're going to be needing to pull these covers off to check the wires. This is obviously the greatest flex point, although it's not going to flex too much because it's inside that casing, but certainly up the back there it's going to flex. I hope there's enough freedom to get up there and have a look. But to start off with, I'm actually going to start the repair in here, come into the lights from the back and give it a really good clean up, check all the wires there, see if there's any breakages, and make sure the globe's sitting in properly, and give everything a good clean up. And if that's not looking the part, then I'll be pulling these off, the outside wire covers, and checking them. And to know which wire, I've had a look on the internet, but I can't actually find which wire is a reversing light. So what I'll be doing is when I pull this apart, I'll have a look at which wire goes to the reversing light globe, and of course that will tell me the color, which will match then back here, and we'll be able to then put a conductivity meter on it and just see if there's power going right the way through, or if there's any resistance and things like that. So hopefully we won't get to that. We'll give it a really good clean around in the back of the globes first, and we'll go from there. To get into the globes, it's nice and simple. We've got a couple of knobs to turn here, and then this drops down, and it can come all the way out. You just pinch these and that will come all the way out. Extra hand would be handy. I don't know if I can do that one-handed. So we just pinch that as well. Oh, there we go. Out she comes. And then in behind the foam here is where the taillight glasses are. So straight away, the one with the slot, I think was the very bottom. Yep, the slot where the reversing light is right there is the very bottom, and tail light above it. So the slot at the very bottom has got an earth wire running into it and a lime green wire running into it. Now again, they don't match through the loom by the look of it, so you're going to have to match them up from the numbers at the back of that plug to the back of this plug, and then these are the ones that'll run through up to the tailgate, but the colours are not matching, and they're very little wires, but we'll give all that a clean out, pull it out, we'll check the globe and see how it all is. Okay, so I'm going to use checking resistance to see if the globes are blown or not to start with. Now, so you get your multimeter. I'm just going to set it to 200 ohms. See, it's just reading 20. I don't know why it's reading that, because there's no current flowing at the moment. But when you see that, yeah, when you touch the two together, it should go back to 0, just like that, because there's no resistance. The current can flow straight the way through. So when you get a globe, if you put your connector on both sides of the globe, you look at that, straight back to 0. There's no resistance. Now, no resistance means the electricity can flow across the filament and all the way through, no problem. If the globe was blown, then it wouldn't change. It wouldn't let any current through, or if there was a bad connection, it would fluctuate or go to a low number. So we know that that globe is perfect. I'll grab the one from the other side. Okay, so leaving the other one in the globe holder is actually going to give us a more conclusive test, because there's contacts here. So touching the contacts on one side and the contacts on the other side, and as long as we get a good connection there and there, yeah, sure enough, that returns to 0. So the globe's good and the connections to the globe are good. So it's not the globe holders on either side. So off to more testing. This is getting more interesting. When I pulled the first one out, I just pulled the globe out. The second one, I pulled the globe back, which is what you do to get it out. And this came out globe and globe holder, but no wires on it. And on this side, the globe holder stayed in place, and it has wires on it. So there's a little ring there that has the green wire that we found, and also the brown wire connected to it. So I can again check that all those connections are okay. But over on this side, that little ring actually stayed in place. It's there, and it stayed in place when I pulled the globe holder out. You can see it has the little slots there for it to line up and all the contacts to meet. So again, we're just be checking all of those sorts of connections. And again, it's the green. Where'd the camera go? Again, it's the green wire. So we're checking all those connections, make sure there's good connections coming through to the globes from all directions. Colours change here at the plug. So for this reversing light, you can see that comes in there to the very edge of the plug, and it comes out. It's this yellow and white wire here. Number 2 going in there is the blue. The brown is earth, and the blue one is the tail light. That's over there, and the blue one is going in number 2. So your tail light is that yellow, that wire right there, yellow with a black line, is the second one along. And then the grey one, the third one there, which is grey with a green. And the last one is the earth, obviously. The grey with the green. Looking at the other end of the plug is the red, and the red runs up in there to, that no doubt would be the LEDs. Let's have a look out here. Yeah, so you've got your reversing light, which is the one I've got out. You can see it's missing. Then your tail light, and then up here, no, they're just reflectors, they're not LEDs. So there's another power wire which is running up. So look, it could be number plate light. Yeah, I'm not too sure what it is. Sorry about that one, because there's only 2 globes here. That there looks like LEDs, but it's not. It's just fancy reflectors. A closer inspection shows that the red one runs up to this panel here, which has got your light bars coming across, which is of course your brake lights. So the red one is for brakes, for brake lights. It runs up to this panel on the side, which has got your LED, your fancy LED lights up here.